Hi, this is Andy Preston. This is my tort liability and education presentation. Tort liability is the actionability or civil wrongdoing by one person against another. It can be a deliberate or non-intentional act of negligence. Guilty parties can potentially have to pay fines or pay for the damages. The 5 cases that we were asked to research, the first one I researched was Mitchell versus Cedar Rapids Community School District. In this case, a special education student has a very low IQ, begins a relationship with a senior boy that is a special education student. The school notes that there were PDAs and kissing and touching going on. On October 26, 2007, both students skipped fifth hour. The girl calls home to her mom, says she's going to ride the bus home, takes off, leaves fifth hour, goes unsupervised, and goes to the boy's house. She ends up being raped and shot with a BB gun by witnessing students. Other students were there as well. Some interesting notes in this case. It says that she needed full-time supervision. The courts recorded, although her IEP does not state that. So there's some conflicting issues there. The court did rule in favor with the student, so the school was 70% responsible. She received $500,000 in damages, probably I'm assuming because that the school did not notify the parent, especially with the situation of the low functioning student. She did skip class. She premeditated that and left school, but the protocol was not followed for supervision in that case. The next case, New Jersey versus TLO, is a case where a student is caught smoking with a friend, and it's a search and seizure, privacy type of tort issue here, where the administration brings the students in, and the one student confesses to smoking. TLO denies that she was. So the administrator wants to look into her purse to see if she has cigarettes and to corner her, basically. While he's doing that, he finds the cigarettes, but she was hiding the whole time that she had marijuana and paraphernalia, and she ends up having a bunch of notes. And it turns out that when they hand the case over to the police, that TLO is not only smoking cigarettes and using marijuana, that she's also a dealer. So it goes to a juvenile court case. The defense takes a stand that her Fourth Amendment rights were violated in the school. The lower court sided with the school. However, when it gets to the state decides that TLO is actually correct, that her rights were violated, because while smoking cigarettes is illegal on school grounds, it is not illegal to have the cigarettes with you. So it goes to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court does not try the case but clarifies that school officials must comply with the Fourth Amendment. However, they do not need a warrant to search and seize. They just need justification of the inception in relation to the circumstances of the situation. So it's a very interesting case that really defines what school officials can and cannot do. And it also shows that school officials have actually more authority than the police in a school setting for search and seizure without a warrant. The next case is Johnson & Johnson versus School District of Millard. This is a situation where a first grade boy ends up being bullied and hurt in school, in the class. The first grader is in a music class playing a song with classmates, and the teacher uses a modeling and demonstrating strategy of IWU, where she teaches the song, they model the song, some of the students demonstrate it, and then they do it on their own. And this is a class of 30 students, first graders. While they're doing this on their own, the teacher turns her back and starts transitioning to the next task on the board while not paying attention to the students. The case states that the students were out of control and loud. The kid was bullied. She ends up being swung and thrown into a bookshelf, receives 50 stitches, concussion symptoms. And it was reported also that he yelled out multiple times for help. The teacher did not help him. Either they didn't want to help or they couldn't hear him because the classroom was out of control. Court favored with the student, said the teacher was negligent by supervision and lack of control in the classroom. Also stated that the lesson, the structure, and the guidance was not appropriate for that age of students, especially after they just learned something, to let them just do whatever they want on their own when they're supposed to be playing a song. He received compensation for the medical bills, is also for disfigurement and his pain and suffering. The next case is Fran versus Comio. And this is a case where a teacher forcibly removes a non-compliant student from the classroom. This is a disruptive student, a defying student. Student's been not helpful to the learning environment, and the student fails to leave the classroom, so the teacher takes them out on their own. I know in my school we cannot do that, or we should not do that, and we use our SRO. That's when the law enforcement comes in to remove the student. However, while the student's being removed, he falls and asks to be hurt or is hurt, and the family and the student takes the teacher to court. The records indicate that the teacher was just removing the student of disruption and non-compliance, not because of forceful harm or to hurt the student. And the teacher ended up being favored in this case and won the case, and the student was not granted any funds. And it was a non-deliberate removal without malice, the only removing student not intending on physical harm the student. The next case that I covered was Flanagan versus Canton. This is a PE classroom that the PE class is ending and the kids are in the locker room to change. There's conflict and argument going on with the students. Students are very loud and obnoxious, and the teacher does not supervise the locker room. The student ends up getting hurt and in a fight, and it takes the teacher to court for the non-supervision. In this case, the student won the case because the teacher was negligent and not supervising for the students. The courts also stated that the teacher should foresee and know possible conflicts for the arguing and out of controlness of the class that was entering the locker room at the time. After reviewing all 5 cases, there are some easy steps, some common sense steps to avoiding tort liability and legal action. It's very simple. Doing your job, supervising, being punctual, being proactive while supervising, giving multiple reminders, visible, verbal instructions on safety measures or tasks that we were doing in class, not leaving students unsupervised. If you have supervision or duty, you don't leave them unsupervised. Not letting students leave the classroom or putting them out in the classroom for long extended periods of times. Documenting issues or problems that you've had in class, and then collaborating with the administration about discipline or actions that you documented in class, and communicating with the student, the teacher, the parent, and the administration, or getting everybody together in a meeting to discuss what is going on, to have better communication. If you can do those things, you can avoid many tort liability issues. Thank you for watching my presentation. Here are my references. Have a good day.